wave. You're listening to Megan and Malaika, the best single duo on the airwaves. Welcome back to season 2 of Tinder Talks.
Woo! Welcome back, fuckers. Can that be our nickname?
That's our new catchphrase. Is
welcome back, fuckers.
And we're welcome back, fuckers. You're listening to Megan.
Live on the airwaves. I'm so excited to be back. I've missed
too.
this.
I miss this. I miss Malaika.
I missed Megan. Megan had the best hot girl summer ever. Meanwhile.
Oh my god, wait. I didn't even think about it, but I did have a hot girl summer. Oh shit. I never thought I would have a hot girl summer. Me, since I do not identify as a hot girl, quote unquote.
It's not my ethnicity.
You don't like hot.
I don't like hot.
She don't like hot.
I'm a cold-hearted snake. Ooh. Okay.
What
What have you been up to this summer? Tell us about it.
have I been up to? Wow. So I was here for a period of time. I think we recorded a few times while I was here in the beginning of the summer in like June. I took some summer classes because like I'm getting this whole double major. Malaika's getting a very similar double major to mine. And we have to take more classes than the other kids because of that. And our lives are harder because of that. But it's cool because we're going to be more educated than them. But yeah, so I had to take some classes here in June, and it was fine. They were really long. They were 3 hours each, and that was not good. But I also worked and made a lot of dough. Yeah, after that, I went on vacation for 2 weeks to Florida with my family, got really tan, ate a lot of food, and then I worked my international job.
Ooh, she's international.
Yes, I worked at an arts festival. I'm not going to say the company I worked for because that seems shady, but I worked at an arts festival in Scotland, and I worked on a street team there, and it was literally the best thing that ever happened to me. It was so much freaking fun. I made so many new friends, and I drank so much because I'm illegal.
I'm illegal, not illegal.
Wait, what?
It sounded like you said I'm illegal, not illegal.
I am a legal drinker. But yeah, so I hung out with a bunch of new people. We had a lot of good times. I explored the city. I worked with literally some of the most interesting people on earth. If you've ever seen a street performer, imagine being around 60 every day of your life. They're so crazy. It was very fun. It literally changed my life. I feel like I'm using the word literally a lot. I know I am, but it did change my life, literally and figuratively.
That's good.
I came back feeling so much more confident in myself somehow, because I think you get to college sometimes and you make a certain group of friends your freshman year and you're like, these are my friends now, and then you kind of start getting worried, like, what if for some reason we're not friends anymore? How do I make new friends? And I think it really assured me that I still have the ability to make new friends in locations that my friends aren't, and I think that's a good thing.
And that's part of growing up.
Yeah, your friends.
My mom always said to me, when you're an adult, it's harder to make friends because you're suddenly not around as many people, which I think is very different going into our line of work where we're constantly talking to people. But since she's told me that, I've actually realized that I make a lot more friends in different places, and it's much nicer because when I travel, I get to see them and I get to leave. Can't annoy me that quickly. Just kidding.
So
yeah.
It was just a really good time. I saw a lot of art, too, because it was an arts festival. It was just so incredible. I feel like a new person. And I came back being like, I'm going to be a confident girl who's really good to be around, really positive all the time. And I'm not going to lie, I failed on that a little bit already, which is a bummer. But I think once I get going again, it'll be better. I don't know. I think I just want to be a better friend, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I think I'm a terrible friend. I just think I could improve.
That's fun.
Thanks, Malaika.
Yeah.
How about you? How was your summer?
My summer ended up being a lot less boring than I thought it would be.
Oh, good.
I would actually agree that I had a confident girl summer. Only because I flew to Boston for an internship that I ended up quitting. I never quit anything because I really just feel like it's like the loser's way out. That's sort of how I look at it. But, you know, particularly without even starting the internship, I realized I really just didn't want to work there. And I was like, I'm not going to spend 3 months of my life sitting around moping because I decided to stay at this job. So I quit, and I got 2 other internships that were so much more fun and had so much more potential for me to just be free all summer. And I got to see my friends. I got to do cool things. I hosted Love is on the Air this summer with Hannah.
Woo!
It was a lot of fun. And it just taught me a lot more about what I wanted to do in the future. I think the end of sophomore year was so confusing for me. And just really, I hit that slump hard. And coming back this year, I've been more clear on everything that I've done. I've just been really focused and, like, still enjoying the social aspects of college, but really, really, really getting into my academics. But my academics aren't boring suddenly.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm a lot more confident in everything that I do, which is much, much, much better than it was last year.
Good. I'm so glad. I think what you said about a slump, that end of sophomore year slump.
Terrible.
Because all of a sudden you're probably you're either 20 or you're near 20 at that point, which means you're 2 decades. Malaika hasn't hit 20 yet, but I'm sure she's feeling the pressure. Also, you're halfway done with college, which is super
sad about that.
Scary because this whole time you've been like, I got so many years left, and now you're halfway. You're an upperclassman. You're halfway done. You got to start thinking about the future. I think you start getting to these not slumps, but I think you start getting into points with your friendships and stuff where you know each other really well now.
I've always been a reader. I think I'm really good at reading humans, like in a weird way. It's almost too introspective.
I would agree with that about you.
I can read situations pretty easily. I learned a lot, though, of how this summer I should approach other people when I feel like certain ways. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I tend to avoid confrontation. Not in that I wouldn't tell somebody when I was upset with them or, anything like that, but in that I would almost be afraid of telling them why I was upset at them. And that had a lot more to do with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, why am I upset at this thing? And I had to, figure that out for myself. It was just really introspective summer.
I think that's another thing I learned, which is, maybe in the past I think I've been too sensitive to stuff. And not in a way that's awful or anything, just in a way where I've taken things that came across a poor way or were done really to heart and been really upset about them. And I feel like somehow I learned to be more okay with people making mistakes and stuff because I realized that I make a lot of mistakes. And in the summer I had time to reflect over that, and I was like, I need to go easier on people in my life because we're literally all just humans and we're all just kids too. I just said that we're 20, but we literally are kids.
We're kids.
Everyone makes a bunch of mistakes.
I really started thinking about, I got into this really weird meta phase where I'm like, why the heck are we on this earth?
Yeah.
What's the purpose? What are we? Are we a video game? No one can answer these questions for me. But in doing so, I did realize that you have to go easier on people, and realizing mistakes are mistakes, and it just things happen. But even more so, realizing that you can't really put expectations on other people, for them.
Yeah.
If you agree to be someone's friend, you agree to be somebody's whole friend.
Yeah, you can't, essentially it's like you can't love someone conditionally.
Yeah. And I mean, this is so weird, but I learned this in class freshman year. We always say, mothers provide unconditional love, or, that's a face only a mother could love. We use that phrase. But I had a professor once who told us that that's completely false because mothers, unlike certain animal species, in the human species, is actually really conditional. You get thrown out of your house, or you hear of people getting thrown out of your house. You get grounded. Your parents stop talking to you.
Yeah.
If you went and did something really, really bad, your parents could disown you. And that's something we hear of a lot. And we're always like, oh, my God, those bad parents. But it's actually our human nature to be conditional. And we just have people who are unconditional as part of that. So I always say if I had a weird kid, I would return to sender. Yeah. I'm a conditional lover, for sure.
Oh, good to know. Good to know, Malaika. I don't know. I think it depends. Of course, unconditional, I think, is probably a hyperbolic word anyways, because, of course, there's always one thing someone could do where you wouldn't love them anymore. I love, blank unconditionally, but it's also if they murdered my family, probably wouldn't want to be their friend anymore. Like, of course, there's always one thing they can do that makes it really bad, but you got to try and love someone even when they fuck up. That's more what it is. It's not about loving them unconditionally. It's loving them when, like, they fuck up. I'm a big fuck up. Malaika and I were talking about what a big fuck up I was literally before we started recording. But hopefully Malaika still loves me.
I will always love you, Megan.
Oh, thank you, Malaika. I miss Malaika a lot over the summer. I missed her gentle wisdom and her also harsh wisdom in my life.
That's true. I'm a harsh person. I think I really pride myself on just telling it as it is.
I think you know when to be harsh, though.
I do.
I don't think, like, there are definitely times where you've been gentle with me because you know that if you were to be harsh, it would just upset me more and it wouldn't be productive. And then there are times where you're like, no, Megan deserves to hear this shit right now, which is also true because I need advice sometimes, a lot of the time.
Fair.
I think everyone needs advice, though. If you're not a person, if you're thinking right now, I've never taken advice from my friends, then there's something wrong. Either your friends don't care about you or you just fuck up so often that they don't have the energy to give you advice.
Take advice from 2 radio personalities right now that you don't know. Or maybe you do know. I had a lot of people this summer tell me they've listened to this podcast, and I was like, oh.
And I was
like, oh no.
Yeah, take advice from your friends. Also get multiple perspectives because, like, I definitely get advice from a few people consistently, but also sometimes I'll get advice on one issue and I'll go to Tim, I'll go to Malaika, I'll go to O'Neill for some chaotic advice. And all of them together give me a good bearing of the situation.
That's always good. Our summer statement is go to your friends.
Our summer statement is go to your friends, and if you make mistakes, it's okay, but also try not to.
Well, outside of this philosophical note,
yeah, no, we got
deep. But you know what? It's our first day back. You know what? If you're looking for debauchery, that'll come next episode.
Yeah, don't worry, it'll be nice and debaucherous.
I want to know if you went on any dates this summer.
I did not. Oh, I actually did. I did go on dates. I also met a guy at a bar.
Oh,
intrigue. I'll start with my date. I think I talked about this a little bit, but I essentially went on... Oh, no, wait. I have a story. Oh, everything sucks. I went on a date in June with a guy. I think I might have mentioned this on the last episode of season 1. We went to Pavement. He just gave off bad vibes.
Oh, is this the loud person?
Yes.
Ew. I've dated one of those. That's just embarrassing.
Like, their voice somehow carries over every other voice.
I don't understand how people don't have I call it like the movie theater approach, where it's like, you know, before the movies you can say certain things, but when everyone fills the fucking theater, you better whisper that shit. And people will literally just go out in public and say they always want to say the most embarrassing things too.
Yeah.
It's not like the weather is so nice today. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, he was just really loud and he gave off a bad vibe of just being, I don't want to say smarter than me, but it felt like he thought he was smarter than me. And I didn't like that. I don't know. Sometimes I would be talking and it almost made me feel like my conversation was too lowbrow for him.
Yeah. I have that feeling a lot, actually, only because, like, I think myself and you are very smart people, like, very intelligent people. However, because we're pursuing careers in art and entertainment, a lot of people will take that as, oh, we must be like really face value. And they don't want to have conversations with us that are deep, or, you know, they pull out conversations and want to like mansplain almost.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I fully know what you're talking about just because I choose to do art for a living, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, I think it has a lot to do with that because I think men will perceive us wanting to be in the arts as us being not capable of in-depth conversations. And don't get me wrong, I love a good bitty conversation. I also think that's part of it, is that we do love fun conversation that's stupid and is about nothing. So I think maybe they would hear us talking about something that doesn't matter and they would go, oh, well, they don't have the capacity for more intelligent conversation. But that's not really true.
No, I just love the goss.
I just love hot goss and having a good time with my friends. So,
oops, sorry about it. Moving on. Who else?
Oh, yeah. So I went on a date with him, but the follow-up to that is, unfortunately, I have seen him around campus so many fucking times since I got back.
Does he go to our college?
Yes, he does go to our college. I made a mistake, Malaika. I saw him so I'm taking a class in a big auditorium. There's about 300 people. And for somehow when we were leaving, We were about 3 feet away from each other, and we made eye contact, and there was nothing either of us could do.
Oh,
So
did you acknowledge it?
We made eye contact, and then we just fucking kept walking. Like, it was so weird.
When the date was over, did either of you guys contact each other?
Yeah, he contacted me, and I ghosted him.
Oh, no.
I'm so messy. Everything sucks.
Oh, that is so messy.
Yeah, so that was the first time. And then we have an event at BU called Splash where you advertise your club to like freshmen. And obviously I was tabling for my comedy group because I love my comedy group. And he had the gall to come and talk to one of the people tabling with me next to me. Like, he knows him. It's a small comedy group and he knows I'm in it because on the date we talked about it. He's also in the frat with someone who was in my comedy group. So he fucking knew. He saw me there and like, came up. This person is
fully in this major. You're in the same major.
No, he's not.
Oh, my God.
He's in Questrom.
Oh, that's worse.
He's in business. But he came up and started talking to the president of the club. And I saw him, and it was just really awkward because I was like, you're so close, and like you're obviously doing this on purpose. It makes me uncomfortable. Ugh. So that's been pretty weird that I've seen him twice in 2 weeks. Let's hope that trend doesn't continue.
Yeah, that's embarrassing, homie. I don't know.
I don't even know why he's in that class I have in that auditorium either because he's not our major. So what is he even doing there? Maybe he has a minor. Yeah, so that was big poo. Big poo. I flirted with a guy at a bar in Scotland. That was really, really fun. But I'm super duper upset about it because I really thought we hit it off. And then he didn't text me. And I was really upset. Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
And I tried to save face and be like, I was going to ghost him anyways, but it's just like rude. He didn't respond. No, that's not true. I really wanted him to text me because I thought he was really cute and I thought he was interested in me. And then he fucking didn't text me and I'm really fucking mad about it. Okay. Truth be told. Wow. Megan wants attention. What's new?
Was this a one-way? Did you give him your number? Oh, I hate that. I almost would prefer to, even though it's like not seen as, you know, cute, I would much prefer to get someone's number in my phone because I know I'll text them.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just... He was really nice. Essentially what happened was we were at a bar and I was getting tipsy at the pub with my friends, and similarly he was doing the same thing, but it was really packed. And when I was going back to the table, I was like squeezing through people and I bumped into him and he had a big bag of potato chips. It was like...
That's my brand.
Yeah, which is already a good sign. And I like bumped into him and bumped into his potato chips, and he said, you almost knocked, he was Scottish. I'm not going to do the accent because that would be foolish. But he did say, he was like, you almost knocked all my crisps out my hand. And I said, oh, I don't want you to lose your chips. That would suck. And he said, you gave yourself away. And I was like, what? And he was like, chips, you're an American. And I was like, tee. But then it was funny. So I was like, oh, well, sorry. And he was like, do you want one? And I took a chip and I ate it and they were really good. And I was like, okay, bye. And that was it. And then later we were dancing and I was getting a little drunk and I saw him across the room and he still had the potato chips. So I went over and I deadass was like, hey, I'm that girl from earlier who almost knocked your potato chips out of your hand. Can I have some more? Because I'm drinking and I would like to eat some potato chips. And he was like, of course. And we got to talking and he went to school there. He was like in his last year of university, I think. And he gave me potato chips and he was film studies. So we talked about film and like what we want to do in film, and we talked about like his life and what he wants to do, and we just had a really good conversation about like movies and art and stuff. Like we joked around a lot too. He bought me a beer. It was my first Tennent's for all my Scots out there. It was my first Tennent's, and Tennent's is truly the most glorious beer. It's incredible. A big juicy, as some might say, is what they are called.
Big juicy.
A big juicy. Yeah, he bought me my first Tennent's and it was delicious. And we talked for over 2 hours and all of my friends were like, oh, Megan's getting it tonight. And I gave him my phone number and he was like, well, I see you again. I was like, if you text me, you'll see me again.
Dang, he even asked if he would see you again.
Yeah, and it was really sweet. Like, he was really nice. His name was Tony. He was so nice. And yeah, he said, well, I see you again. I said, if you text me, you'll see me again. And he took his crisps and he left. And then he never texted me.
Some men.
Men are so mean.
It could be that you put your name in his phone and he was like, oh man, what was her name?
No,
Megan?
I put my name in his phone because I typed the contact and I put Megan, and then his last name I put girl at bar? Question mark. And he was like, oh, you really think I won't remember you? I was like, it's just a helpful reminder. Because anytime I give my men a phone number, if I go to party, I'll always do Megan and then like girl at party question mark. Because they always find that wildly charming too. For some reason, they're like, oh my God, she's so funny, which is true. I'm hilarious and adorable, but like, it's not a big deal.
Weak.
What? We out here trying to be more confident fall 2019.
That is
Malaika.
true. You are very funny and adorable.
Thank you. I was really upset because I thought we had a really good conversation. Like, that's one of the few times that I've talked to a guy at a party or a bar or wherever and genuinely thought that if he texted me, I'd be okay with it.
I only thought that once at a bar, and truly I knew it would never work because I was super into him, but he was 30 years old. And he guessed my age, and once he knew how old I was, he was like, oh, that's a big difference.
That's the big bad. Man, I don't know how to meet people anymore.
I don't know how to meet people either, but I want to finish a saga that was men that I have dated in the past year. This summer, I went on a date with a person who I have been on dates with before, and I was disgusted. I thought I would be comfortable because I've been on this is our fourth or fifth date. And each time that we went on a date, something wrong would happen. But he was really good at smoothing it out. We moved through the paces. Everything was good. Always ended up talking to him again. We talked every single day for a year. That's how long we've known each other. So I come back this summer, and coincidentally, he's here too. He's doing an internship. And he's like, hey, you want to come over and get some pizza and we'll hang out? I'm like, great. So I go to meet him, and I was more nervous meeting him now than I was the first time that I met him for a date. For some weird reason, just because so long had passed. And I see him, and the date was fine. I thought it was weird because we were talking about a lot of the same things we had already talked about because we hadn't seen each other in so long.
Yeah.
But it wasn't casual catching up like you would be with a friend. It was like
forced.
Almost like we were getting to know each other again.
Oh.
And I don't know if he just has a bad memory, but I don't. I completely knew every single thing I was asking him. But because he was asking me really introductory things, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, huh? But I would just ask, like, the similar questions because I was like, well, I don't want to be awkward, and, you know.
Being in person is literally so different.
It's so gross. So we went on a date, and I was upset afterwards. We got really good pizza. But first off, I paid for half, and then he proceeded to eat 6 slices. I ate 2, which I wouldn't care about. But considering the way the rest of this date went, I was like, and he didn't pay, and he took my...
Oh my God, that is such an us thing to do, though. Like, I would absolutely do that shit.
If I enjoyed the date, I wouldn't say shit about it. But the fact that I hated it so much, I'm like, he's such a cheapskate, and he ate my pizza. But
honestly, you're right, though. I'm on board.
Whatever. We left this date, and at the time, the tea was shut down. It wasn't, like, operating properly. So he was like, hey, come see my new apartment. And I came over to his apartment. I thought he was going to kiss me. But surprisingly, even though we've been on, like, 4 fucking dates, we've never kissed. But always because we end up being in public. And I think he thinks that's weird, as do I. So now we're alone. I thought we were going to kiss.
Oh, my God.
He sits on his bed. I sit on the bed.
Oh, my God.
And he pulls out his arm and reaches around to put it behind me.
Oh, my God.
And grabs a Kleenex. And then blows his nose. And mind you, I'm like ready. Like, I'm like puckered lips. My chapstick is on. I thought it was the moment. And then it wasn't the moment.
I have such secondhand cringe for you because I can imagine being in that situation being like, oh my God, it's gonna kiss me, and then him blowing his nose, which is maybe the least sexy thing anyone has ever done.
And to further that, I was like, okay, great. So at that point, I was like, it's not happening. Because then he didn't even try to, like, anything after that. He just, like, went back to his, like, turtle shell, essentially, and kept talking. And then he's like, okay, well, do you know how to get back home? And so I'm like, yeah, I know how to get back home. And I was annoyed at this, even though I know I shouldn't be, and I'm being petty. But Our other 3 dates, he's always walked me home, whether or not we've been close or far away. I have been at his house before, and he has walked me home, 35-minute walk.
Wow.
And then walked back by himself. This time, I'm like about 45 minutes to an hour walk. So I understand if you didn't want to walk. The T was close by, except the T was closed. They weren't running that line, and I was nowhere near another line. So I actually had to walk the hour. Now, why I'm pissed about this is because he had his car.
No, he didn't drive
He didn't drive me home.
Oh.
He's like, oh, like, do you remember how to get home? And he was like, yeah, do you remember how to get to the T? It's across the street. And I'm like, yeah. And then he was like, wait, but the T's not working. And he was like, how long is it going to take you to get home? And so I look it up, and it literally says like 56 minutes. And I'm like, oh, it's like an hour walk. And it was like 10:30 p.m. And he was like, okay, well, yeah, text me when you get home. But the entire time we're on his date, he's like, oh, I love having my car here. It's so convenient. It's just whatever. I'm like, your ass should have driven me home. Like, I don't think I'm wrong for thinking
I'm literally appalled.
I don't think I'm wrong for thinking you should have driven me home.
He should have driven you home. The walk was one thing, but the fact that he had his car, he easily could have driven you home, and he chose not to, and that is ridiculous.
Okay, I understand. You don't want to leave for 2 hours to walk me home. I get it. But
nighttime.
The T's not running. You made me come to you, and you have a car.
Also, this is our 4th date. Act like it, bitch.
Just rude as shit.
That is rude as shit.
Damn, so after that date, I literally just blocked his Snapchat and never responded to him.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
It's just not the charismatic charm I'm looking for.
You deserve a man who will drive you home.
I mean, it's just like fucking rude. Like, how dare you not drive me home? Whatever. Anyway, other than that, I literally didn't do anything. I didn't see anyone. I was single girl summer I'm
single girl fucking
all
life.
month. But I don't know. I've had some people flirt with me recently, and I liked it. But I only like the fact that they were. I love attention. I only like the fact that they were flirting with me because they were flirting with me. I actually don't like them. So
I do want to say, while I only went on those dates this summer, I have been on Tinder messaging people. And something very funny happened to me, which is that, as you guys very well know, if we fail an O'Neilly challenge, O'Neill gets to use our Tinder. Back one time when O'Neill used my Tinder during one of those O'Neilly challenges, this was in December last year. This was in December. O'Neill sent a message to a man named Kevin, and it said, there's a typo already. The second word is a typo. It says, I live a man. I'm assuming that's supposed to be I like. It says, I like a man that can smoke a cig. And then in one of his photos, he's smoking a cigarette. So it says, I like a man that can smoke a cig. Winky face with the tongue out. 3 water emojis, and then 2 just tongue emojis. That was written by O'Neill.
That makes sense.
And then he responded at that moment in time, haha, what else do you like? Obviously, I didn't respond to that because this was like an O'Neill thing, so it didn't matter. And that was in December. That was December 1st, 2018. And then on September 7th, he texted me, "What's up?" What the hell?
I don't understand
so
those
weird.
people who just. It's like those people that have made special groups in their Snapchat so they can identify their hookup people, or they put like special emojis next to their name, just so they know. That's what that reminds me of.
So weird. I also had a guy message me because my bio, obviously about Interstellar, he said, Interstellar blows my mind every time I think about it, and people don't appreciate it enough. And then he said, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
So I didn't respond because it felt like it was just a statement.
Yeah. It's also like that's all he wanted to say, so he wasn't swiping to go on a date with you. He just wanted to comment on Interstellar. Interesting.
Yeah, so that was pretty weird. And then I actually got a message from a guy today, and I responded. Also about Interstellar.
With someone. I ended up... Okay, this sounds creepy, but a girl got to do her homework, you know? I matched with a guy, really generic name, Will, on Tinder. And Will had his school listed as some sort of, like, fellowship. And I was like, what the hell is that? And I just assumed that because he lived in, like, Cambridge, that it was, like, he goes to Harvard, and he was just, like, trying to be prestigious and stuff like that. But I Googled the fellowship, and I find out what it is. And it's basically I'm just putting his dirty laundry out here. It's basically a scholarship given to people to drop out of school to become entrepreneurs and run like $1 million businesses.
What the fuck? That sounds like a Disney movie.
No, I fucking looked it up. So then I'm like, oh shit. And so I'm looking at him. I'm looking for his fucking name. I'm like, who are the recipients 2019? I need to know what his business is before I say anything to him.
Oh my God.
And then I find out that he owns a biotech company, has literally earned millions of dollars thus far, and dropped out of college 6 months ago. So here I am on Tinder. Hello. Stay tuned for my
date. This is what
date.
we've always wanted, though. Are you going to go on a date with him?
I want to. We're just talking, but he doesn't know that I know that he's fancy.
Oh my God. Everyone Googles everyone, though.
Oh, I found his company's website. I found everything. I think it was creepy, though, because of how I found it, but I did my research.
Look.
He shouldn't have been putting a scholarship out there. It's very easy to find.
I'm just a woman standing in front of a man telling you that I Googled you. Like,
in my defense, I was simply
Google
Googling
people.
to see if his school was something I would care about. You know, like, I was like, oh, I don't want to, like, this sounds really weird. So I just Googled the fellowship to know what it is. And once I found that out, I was like, shit, he's a millionaire?
That's so cool, though. And that fulfills our dream of marrying
happy.
rich, but without marrying people who are old. Which is really what we've always wanted.
Like, how the fuck are you a CEO of a biotech company?
Imagine all the cute things he would get for you, like a wedding ring.
Like, repaying my debt. Buy me mansion.
Buy me mansion. Or a pretty dress I like.
Tee-hee-hee-hee. Madewell. Buy me a Madewell gift card.
I've got Madewell jeans on, baby. I got a Madewell dress, too. I actually, Madewell just had a sale. It was 40% off sale plus 15% off for insiders. So I spent a fuck ton of money, but I had got like $200 off what the price should have been.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it was a spicy deal. Catch me on Instagram wearing them clothes. I don't post much on Instagram, though.
Neither do I.
Yeah, that's basically my dating thing. I think this year, though, I'm going to try to, how do I phrase this without sounding like a thought? TM?
We been new.
Oh, sis, we done been new. I'm trying to be more open to casual dating.
Yeah.
And by that, I don't mean like, hey, Lamau, wanna fuck? And then that happening. Like, that's not what I mean. Hey, Lamau. Do you know what I mean? When a boy on Tinder's you up, but it's 2 p.m. Like,
I know.
Not that kind of casual, but like, I don't know, just like seeing someone, having a good time, being friends, maybe doing other stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I really like casual dating. Like, I like going on 3 dates and never seeing you again. It's pretty nice.
See, that's what I'm looking for. When I say casual dating, I'm more open this semester to going on 3 dates and then never seeing you again.
A week. I'm more interested in, I think I'm going to do the same. I'll have the same goal. I'm also interested in doing more with our podcast. Obviously, this is a weird episode because it's our catch-up episode. But this is something I did that I quickly wanted to bring up. This summer, I did a panel for a really great publication. I feel like I'm going to say it wrong. Popularly Positive.
Popular positivity, I think.
Pop culture positive. That's what it is.
Great. We were really close, though.
We're really good. Pop culture positive. And we did a panel. It had Hannah, who's been a Tinder Talks guest before. It also has somebody who I will not say now, but I really want her to be a guest, and I hope she'll come soon. And I got to be a part of it to represent Tinder Talks and talk about how Tinder is changing our idea of consent. And it was a really interesting conversation. It was a panel. We literally had strangers come. And I was like really proud of the fact that I was speaking to, to these strangers on behalf of our tiny little podcast that we just created because we were lonely. And it inspired me. So I think this year, I want us to be bolder than ever before. We're going to get some good content. We're going to have fun.
Yes. I mean, honestly, of course, my goal, as you said, going on 3 dates and then never seeing you again. But also this year, I want to be a workaholic.
I want to be a workaholic. I want to be a woman in charge.
Yes. I want to
boss bitch.
I want to be making my shows. I want to be making this show. I want to be writing. I want to be doing all of the shit that I know I can do.
Yeah.
Hot girl summer into bad bitch fall.
Ooh. Bad bitch fall coming at you.
Yeah, bad bitch fall. We're going to do it. It's going to be great.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
Do I have any closing thoughts? I would like to inform our viewers of something I've discovered. My mom and I love Shark Tank.
Oh, I fucking love Shark Tank.
We love Shark Tank in this house. We were watching Shark Tank one night, and a guy comes in to pitch his idea. What he pitches is a dating app called Hater. Have you heard of this?
No.
It is an app called Hater, very similar to Tinder, except for when you open the app, when you first create your account and throughout, you answer questions about things you hate. So it'll ask you, it'll be like, do you hate vegans? And you swipe right for yes and left for no. And it asks you all these questions about stuff you hate. And then it percent matches you with people based on if you hate the same things.
Should we make it our challenge for next week to make a Hater Dater app?
What do you mean?
Why don't we get matches from Hater Dater?
Oh my God, like we actually go on a date with someone from Hater?
Yeah.
I have my account open right now.
I am going to say it might take us a little more than a week because we're busy bitches, but this could be an overarching theme. We're now accepting Hater Dater into our Tinder Talks.
Yes, you can go to your top hates and shit. And like, okay, so if there's someone comes up, so it's this guy. It's matching me with people in Texas, and I don't know why because I'm obviously not there. But you go to, you like click on their name, right? Mm-hmm. It says 70% match. It says top hates, and then it shows you people things that you have hated, that or things that they have hated, and you can be like, oh, I agree with that. And it also shows you things that they love. Isn't that crazy?
I love that. Look, honestly, I know we're all about spreading positivity, but I love to say I hate some things, you know? I'm just a hater by nature.
My top one is, let me tell you what I hate. I hate public makeouts, veganism, biting into string cheese, Nickelback, cargo shorts, where humanity is going, families that run 5Ks on holiday, when someone else takes the fry that I mentally claimed, and drivers who don't signal. And then my top loves are meeting new people, carbs, philosophical arguments. So, yeah.
I think my number one hate is probably... I know exactly what it is. I really, really, really seriously hate when people will click the walking sign on the street multiple times as if it's going to speed it up. And also,
oh my God,
when you get into an elevator and the button's already pressed and you press it again, or when you press the door close thing as soon as you walk into the elevator, as if the elevator isn't like, doesn't know what to do.
That is annoying.
I fucking hate that shit.
You can also keep updating it. So there's a profile section, a people section, a message section, and then also you can go back and hate more things. So like sitting in the back of class. You can also do a neutral one. There's a way to say you're neutral. I don't remember what it is though. But I do love sitting in the back of class, so I'll say yeah to that. Crocs, love Crocs. Leather, I'm kind of neutral about leather. I think there is a way to say you're neutral about something though. I just don't remember how to do it.
Did this
You can skip it. You can skip it. Yeah, they did. Watching sports, neutral. Swearing, love it. Making my own lunch, neutral. Chemistry, that's a tough one because I think chemistry is fascinating, but I don't like doing it. I'll say yeah, I love chemistry. Celebrity news,
love it.
Bringing your own bag to the grocery store,
love it. I feel like I could guess a lot of these for you.
Binge eating chips,
love it.
The Rock with long hair,
what?
Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but with long hair. You get to pick for me. What do you think?
Okay, because it's Dwayne, I'm gonna say you love it, but the long hair, meh.
You are so right. OJ with extra pulp, not a fan.
Oh, I thought you meant OJ Simpson.
What do you mean OJ Simpson with extra pulp? What is he doing with all that pulp? Anyways,
it's been real. Thanks for coming to this catch up.
And check out Tinder Talks Pod on Twitter and Instagram to see how we're doing and to stay in touch. We're going to have new posts probably more often, but we always say that. I don't know. It's a new year, new us, maybe bad bitch fall. But at least we'll post about O'Neill as he was not here to celebrate the return of Tinder Talks.
Yes. And O'Neill has done nothing with his life. Just to update you.
Yeah.
Still a loser. Just
Yeah.
kidding. Love you. Anyway, it's been nice.
It's been
My
good.
name's Malaika.
And I'm Megan.
And you've listened to Tinder Talks.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.